This is the film I can honestly say was made for me. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Jane Theory. Today we discuss Tenet. Tenet is a Christopher Nolan film starring John David Thomas, Robert Pattinson, Himesh Patel, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. The casting for this film could not have been better. John David delivers a stellar performance as the protagonist, who, by the way, is very much a stand-in for the audience throughout much of the film. He asks many of the same questions we would have if we found ourselves in these literally off-the-wall situations. Robert Pattinson, aka the Batman, brings his A-game to this film as well as loads of charisma and charm. There are so many surprises throughout the film, and one twist in particular revealed at the very end puts his entire performance in a new context, and, at least for me, amps up my overall appreciation for his strength as an actor. Aaron, Age of Ultron's Quicksilver, was a surprise casting. He doesn't appear in the trailer, I don't think, but in the film he does a great job as his character. And lastly, there's Himesh Patel. If he looks familiar, it's not just because he and his brother Dev have been in some banger films. It's more likely because he is literally the Dilep Ryo of this film, which is every bit Inception 2.0. And like Inception, the film is visually stunning. Mind-bending would be even more accurate. In Inception, we got buildings turning back on themselves. Here, we get battles being waged forwards and backwards through time. At the same time, it's too insane to even put to words, let alone portray on screen, and yet Nolan pulls it off masterfully, and with characters talking nonchalantly about some things that are otherwise absolutely insane. And then, to top it off, it's all set to a phenomenal score that really sets the mood to boot. But while it is largely incredibly well shot, especially the fight scenes, one of which in particular is a carbon copy of a scene in Inception, there are scenes that could have been better lit. The dark lighting in those shots made sense from a thematic standpoint, but unless you're watching on IMAX or something along those lines, they were far too dark for your regular theater experience, let alone home viewing later. If I had to fault the film at all though, like seriously fault it would be in terms of its storytelling structure, specifically as it regards the stakes, which are not well communicated. Although we do examine a small-scale example of what happens when this technology falls into the wrong hands, we never truly get a sense of the larger threat. People do talk about it, but you don't actually feel the weight of it at any point. In Inception, the concept of layered consciousness was well communicated, and so we understood the risk if the characters fail. Here, we get a fairly well-organized representation of layered time, but without understanding anything that's actually happening or how it's affecting anything long-term, it's difficult to understand what any of what they're doing means. In terms of action and dialogue, the film definitely has its own momentum, and it is one carried by loads of exposition more than anything else. While there is action, I wouldn't call it an action film, and this of course affects the pacing, resulting in a slow burn followed by dramatic payoffs in Act 2 and especially Act 3. While the film is written well enough to be believable, you never forget it's a puzzle within a puzzle first and foremost. A great deal of discussion goes into laying out the rules. I buy in out of sheer curiosity of the subject matter. The characters' conversations are ones I could see myself wandering into with friends of sci-fi over a few drinks. However, if you're not really into that sort of thing, people standing in a circle discussing concepts of theoretical physics, it could easily become more boring than it needs to be, and even exhausting after a while. Overall though, I have to say, this film was absolutely worth the wait. The story is wild, the acting is great, visuals are freaking epic, and for the year it's been, Tenet is the escape from 2020 you're looking for, in addition to Bill and Ted 3 if you haven't seen that. So if your theaters are open, definitely check it out. Here's hoping Nolan drops a Tenet 2 in the future. But hey, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.